Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos because I sure enjoy making them. As I stated before in multiple videos, but this might be your first one of mine watching, I just find out different things of programming. I'm always trying to learn something new, and when I learn something new, I will go ahead and share it with you guys. That's the whole purpose of this channel, is for us to be in this constant learning environment, and I think as a programmer that's essential. So hopefully you guys agree. But I've been getting a lot of views recently, and much more than I expected. In the last 48 hours, we're actually up to 45 views, which I know for a lot of channels that's like something that you get every second. But for me, that's pretty outstanding, and I'm very proud of that. So I thank all of you guys that have been watching, and if you have yet to subscribe, don't forget to consider doing so because, like I said, it's beneficial for both of us. So I hope you guys think about that. Anyway, today we're going to talk about list comprehensions, and we're going to meet. I did a video a while back where we used the in operator. And we use the in operator to compare two different lists and make another list with all of the values that are found in both lists. No duplicates. So in exercise 10 here on practicepython.org, I will have it linked below if you want to check it out. Also, if you think you know the answer, pause it right now and give it a go, and then you can come back and see how I do it and compare with yourself. But so what we're going to do is we are going to use list comprehensions. I'll go ahead and briefly explain to you guys what that is. And the one part about this that I found very tricky and I had to look something up, and I'll show you guys here in a second, is how to go without duplicates when we use list comprehensions. So we will go over how to do that as well. But I'm going to have this in my second monitor. I already copied these two lists into my IDE here, and we will just go from there. So first thing I want to show actually is this set function. I had no idea this existed. Excuse me, I'm taking a drink of water. And what it actually does is it takes a list or any iterable data type, I guess, and it creates a set of that, and it takes out all the duplicates and it sorts them. So we can go ahead and use that to our advantage, and I'll show you how. Let me pull that back up. I'll show you how that works. So we have our two lists, and as you can see, list A has two ones. So if we wanted to, we can use that set function. We can pass in our list, and then it will create a set and only contain one, because like I said, it takes out the duplicates and it also sorts them, but in our case this is already sorted, so it doesn't really matter in that aspect. So let's go ahead and use that to our advantage in the list comprehension. So if I were to make a regular list comprehension, and you might be thinking, what is a list comprehension? I don't know the exact definition, but it's essentially creating a list, and inside of that list having a definition of what goes inside of it, if that makes any sense. That's how I interpret it. There's probably a better definition out there if you want to look it up, but I think once you see it, you will understand. It might be a little tricky syntactical. I think that's the word, wise, but once you get used to it, it's pretty nice. So what we are going to do is we created this empty list that we're going to print out, and now we have to create some kind of definition as to what goes inside of it. So first we need a variable. So it can be whatever you want. I will just name it num. Okay, so num is our random variable, arbitrary variable name. So we have num, and then for num in, and what this is saying is for each variable num that we just created in, and then we pass in some kind of iterable type. So it could be either one of these. It can be A or B. A. And then we can also use some kind of comparison or some kind of if statement if you want. Kind of like a where clause almost. So if A is equal to 2. Let's say we wanted to do that. So in this case, oh, I did that backwards. If num is equal to 2. So in this case, it's actually going to just print out the number 2. So it's going to go through each value in A. So we created this variable num. Then we go for num in A. So it's going to go through each one of these that we called num in A. And it's going to put them in this list if num is equal to 2. And there's only one of those. Now if we did 1, it's actually going to go 2 ones because it's going to go first one. It says, okay, well, it meets this requirement, and we're going through A. So I'm going to put that in the list. And then it goes to the next one. It says, okay, that's also meeting the requirement, and it's also an A. And so on and so forth. And then it keeps going. It says, none of these other ones are 1. Now, if we wanted to, we can do this using the in operator that we learned in my other video. Let me make this larger, I guess. I keep forgetting that each time I run this. It puts it back to the default size, which kind of sucks. So if we wanted to, we can use that in operator. And if num is in B. So what this is saying is we're going to go through each num in A. So we're going to go through each one of these. And if num is in B, we will go ahead and put it in this list. So let's go ahead and run that. And you can see we have all of the overlapping values, right? The problem is we have this duplicate. So that's where the set comes in. So if we actually use the set function and turn A into a set, and we go ahead and run this, we can see that the duplicate is now removed. Pretty nifty. So it's saying for num, this variable num, for num in, and we changed the list A into a set, which then removed all duplicates. If that number is in B, we'll put it in this list. And that's exactly what it did. I can put as many ones as I want, right? And it won't make any difference. It'll still only have one single one. It's pretty awesome. So hopefully that made some kind of sense. Like I said, syntactically, as you saw me mess up, as I put like A is equal to 2 or whatever I did, it even trips me up. And this isn't my first time looking at list comprehension. So feel free to make your own, and don't feel embarrassed if you don't understand right off the bat, because it is kind of confusing. But anyway, hopefully that helped you understand maybe a little bit. And I thank you guys for watching. This is actually a really good. I said in my last video, some of these are really easy, but this was actually a really good practice problem. Because I even learned something new. Not that I know a lot of Python to begin with, but I learned about the set method. I bet some of you guys did too, so that's really neat that we got to view that. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say in this one. If we wanted to randomly generate lists, they have a good example down here. I'll go through it real quick. So we can import the random module. Import, if I can spell it. Import random, and what did they do? I forget the exact way they do it. So there's a random.sample, and then we pass in a range and the number that we want in the list. So A is going to be random.sample. Now let's have a range of 1 to 10. So range of 10, and let's have 6 values for this one. And let's just copy this part, put in here, and let's only do 4 values. And let's see if there are any overlapping. There are, and I'm sure they'll change each and every time because it is totally random. Pretty sweet. So that's something else that you probably learned, and I did too. I never knew about the sample. But all the sample does is it makes a list. So if we were to print this out like that, you can see it just makes a random list. The first parameter is the range. How high do we want to go? And how many do we want in that list is the second parameter. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you. And I'll see you hopefully in the next video.